the back.
We are excited to have you as part of our family.
He being very regular, especially in my classes. Allahudeen, come to the dais.
Most revered and reverend Honorable Principal Ma'am, guests in the panel, my most honorable, respected and loved teachers, parents, students, my batchmates and everyone associated with this program by way or another. A hearty good morning, Assalamu Alaikum, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal. Before I move on and bring before you the conundrums of how my journey is, I want you all to give a big round of applause for each of you for making it to this tiny, tiny minuscule of a hall. You know, every morning you wake up either with some emotions or it's something else. There is something of apprehensions that you go around. Today I woke up, basically in psychology, when you will read psychiatry or psychology, Tajamul sir is here, you will read, there are lots of theories about emotions. One is, there is half a dozen of emotions. Another theory, there is a dozen, there is a 2 dozen. And there is a theory which says there are around 3,700 vivid particular emotions. But to be truthful, frankly, laymen and people like us, we have 3 emotions. Either we are high on the floor, we're happy. Or we happen to be gloomy, we are sad. Or there's the third one, relief. To be truthful, I felt none of those this morning. The one emotion that I particularly felt was, I felt hopeful. You know, in a world as such, in a world full of corruption, full of plague, full of disease that we have been fighting in recently, the COVID was on the counts. One thing is there, it's quite hopeful to see 50 young men and 50 graceful young ladies making it to the med school, starting a commitment, starting a journey for the excellence, for the servitude, for the lifetime, learning process for the sake of humanity. Basically, the profession you are coming in is the humanism in the best of its form. That's what you have to understand, and this is the journey you are coming in. It will not be like, most of the times what happens in other degrees is there is a vivid way. You're going to do BTech, you become an engineer. But as a doctor, you're going to ever learn, you have to keep on learning, there's nothing which will ever stop. So, about hope that I felt about you, I felt in my journey, it's the most important, it's the most vivid, rather, it's the most quintessential value that you need to imbibe as a doctor. I remember there was a researcher, a psychologist, he had 2 sons. I love stories, I don't know, from childhood, so I will tell you this fine story come research. So he had 2 sons. His one kid, he happened to be an absolute optimist. He would see positivity in everything. Everything he had, he would have the rainbows and all happy, gleeful charms around him. The other side, for the other kid, he was an absolute pessimist. He would see the negative side, dark side of everything. So basically he did one thing, he did an experiment. He placed these 2 kids in 2 different rooms and then had a CCTV camera to watch them. The pessimistic kid, he placed him in a room that was full of toys. The Barbie doll, the teddy bears, the water guns, and all the toys that can come around, all your childhood favorite toys that you can have in mind. So he placed all of them there. And he placed the pessimistic kid, basically the negative kid, he was given everything in a room. In another room, he placed piles of dung, rather he placed horse apples or horse dung in another room and placed the most optimistic kid. And he watched both of them. What happened with the pessimistic kid for the first minutes, rather 2-3 minutes, he was quite happy. He had all the world around him, but after a few minutes, as his routine, he went gloomy. While the other kid who had this habit of being happy and positive all the time, he went to another room. For a few moments, he was thinking something and he was gloomy. But after a few moments, he started playing with the dung and was happy. They were confused. The pessimistic kid had everything, but he was not happy. The optimistic kid had nothing, the dung. So they went into the room and they talked to the pessimistic kid. Why are you sad? You were happy for the first moments. What happened that led you to the sadness? He said, okay, I have all that's in the world, but it will be taken from me. I fear it will be taken from me. While they went to the optimistic kid and they asked him, why are you so jubilant? It's only piles and hills of dung. What are you happy about? He said, there is so much of dung, there has to be a horse or pony somewhere. I'm trying to find that horse. So, I would want you to take this journey because Hope is something that will take you through the journey. In the first year, you'll be flaunting your white coats and stethos through the wards. We did that. I'm sure you will do when a patient comes. If somebody calls you a doctor, that's more of a big hierarchy you have been put into. That's the biggest of the accolades that you can get. In second year, you will learn pharmacology, and basically your teachers may not be able to teach you, but your relatives who are buzzing you around, I have this disease, what drug I should take, so your relatives will make a doctor out of you, if not these awesome faculty of teachers. In third year, they say it's the honeymoon of MBBS. Basically, I am, but I could neither see honey nor moon. But they say it's in final year. I've not been in that part, so let's leave that. Other than that, some of the facts, some of the few trinkets of the journey, I will tell you. In the mornings, you will not be awoken by alarms. You will not have those fancy alarms. But once in a while, you can doze off. But there will be another classmate banging at your door and saying, "Arey, utھ ja, aaj HOD ki class hai." So you will go through that. If not that, remember when you are in your examiner vivas, what happens is the examiner, if you are answering for quite a long time, may tell you, "Doctor Saab," rather Doctor Saab. Don't take that as a compliment, he's being sarcastic. And in anatomy, so you're in the first year, basically all the wounds that you have, even if you leave one wound, believe me, you'll be asked from that. Everything you write, that will not be asked. So this is the journey you'll be taking. It will be full of fun. It will be full of all that you have. Don't expect it to be a boring tale. You will have your deals and dawns of whatever comes in. Now let me come to an important part, something that makes an institution, the faculty. Basically, I would have wanted, rather loved to talk about a few teachers, but there are always those teachers that you'll leave. And then the fact is, when you meet them, so they are going to say you did not say. So basically, all of them are awesome, but I would love to particularly talk about principal ma'am. What happens with official speeches, maybe they can say something in official, okay, principal ma'am did that. But as a student, I guess I have those tiny tints of liberty that I can spare. You have the best principal ever, believe me. You have the best principal. Any GMC could. I remember when we came to this GMC, basically, there was nothing built. Our senior batch, basically, they had nothing. They did not even have the freshers. We had the best of the freshers. Even last year, we made sure Yawar Abdal come to the place. You have your cultural week set. You have your sports week set. You will have, as Shiri ma'am rightly said, you will have loads and loads of other functions like pulsing. Other than that, believe me, our principal ma'am had been a cultural secretary during her days. I remember when we had the student body about the freshers party. So we had a few ideas. We came around and we were composing, orchestrating and scrambling a few raw ideas of how it should be. And she came with an idea that you should place more of a presentation about flowers, and that was quite an innovative idea. She's more zealous than you can be. She, if you are in her office, I would say if you have a problem, if your seniors and teachers, make sure if you know nothing, you know the room of principal ma'am's office. You will surely be helped there. Other than that, this is about your staff, this is about your family. Maybe some of you, may be disappointed that you could not get GMC Srinagar or SKIMS. Believe me, in the few years, I'm very sure, people will be choosing GMC BARAMULLA. It's the only campus in JNK, wherein hostel, academic block and everything is in one place. They have to go around, to and fro. And believe me, when you come into the practical world, you need these things. As a medical student, I have felt that. No, that was about your staff and the awesome team of teachers. I guess I should not take it long, but I remember when I had to choose MBBS, I was in IT Kharagpur, so I was doing my BTech thing. I remember I talked to my dad and I was like, basically your father, your parents, your loved ones are the ones who took you to this journey. I asked him, what should I be choosing? Basically, I was confused. I was not by passion a doctor, but these awesome team of teachers, they created that passion in me. Otherwise, I never wanted to be a doctor. Rather, I never knew what I should be doing with my life. So I talked to my dad, should I be choosing that or should I be doing MBBS? I remember my dad told me a story. He told me, remember there was a chicken and a rooster? I will try to hype it up. I'll make sure it doesn't go that long, just a few moments and I will be done. You'll not be bored more. So he told me there's a chicken and a rooster. Basically, they had a conversation. So the chicken, rather hen and a rooster. So the hen, she was very contemplative and full of wisdom. She told the chicken, the rooster. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's resolve all the problems of the world. The rooster, thinking for a moment, clapping and crying for a moment, told her, we are just a hen and a rooster. What can we do to the human problems? The hen, having her wisdom side to her, said, okay, let's do one thing. Let's break down the problems of the world one at a time. So it's quite a fine idea. Let's break the elephant into parts and Solomon. That's what you do in MBBS by getting those markings from the seniors. So the rooster told him, okay, let's talk about world hunger. The hen told the rooster, okay, let me do one thing. I will lay loads and loads, dozens and dozens, hundreds and thousands of eggs for the human race. You do one thing so that they can have the anda virgins. Basically, you do one thing. As a rooster, you give your flesh. They can make tandoori chickens out of you. The rooster, thinking for a moment, said, okay, you are giving eggs, but we will live after that. That's a contribution. I'm giving whole of me. That's a commitment. I will not live after that. Believe me, my Baba told me this MBBS, it's the commitment. All the bankers, they are the contributions towards the field. You all will be the awesome doctors and you have been awesomer audience. Thank you and be following. Thank you.